The spring had passed by quickly, and it was now full summer of 1804 on the Missouri River. This brought on terrible heat, broken by sudden, violent thunder and lightning storms. The storms endangered the boats by sudden floods of water. Besides the storms, there was hidden tree snags called sawyers, swift river current, which the men had to toil in during the hot noon sun. Along with rowing, they towed the keel boat upstream by ropes. The men had to constantly fight them pesky varmint, mosquitoes, and ticks. Both the bloodsuckers were a nuisance, and the men would do just about anything. In fact, they rubbed bear grease over their bodies to ward them off, but that didn't seem to help much. The beauty of all this new, unexplored land is what kept the men from going completely crazy in all their hard work. Captain Lewis and Clark had their share of trouble, too. Would you believe that Hugh Halls and John Collins were in trouble again? Yes, sir. On June 29th, Private Halls and Private Collins were brought before the captains. Captain Lewis said, "I'm disappointed in you two fellas. It doesn't seem that you've learned a lesson from the last whipping you got 2 weeks ago. Private Hall, you're going to receive 50 lashes for stealing our storehouse provisions. And you, John Collins, 100 lashes for being drunk on post and permitting the theft." Both of them were tied to a tree and received their whippings like men in the presence of the other explorers. That didn't seem to leave a lasting impression, though, for 13 days later, Peter Weiser was found sleeping on the post. "Private Weiser, to your feet!" "Asleep on guard duty, huh? You could have had us all killed and ambushed by Indians," Captain Clark commanded. They tried him and found him guilty, an offense that normally would cause you to be shot to death. But they gave him a warning and 100 lashes. Usually, large amount of lashes were given over several days, like 25 a day, so that the men would not be too sore to work the next day. 100 lashes at one time would leave the soldiers too weak to work. The Bible says in Proverbs 26:3, "A whip is for the horse, a bridle for the donkey, and the rod for the fool's back." I wonder how many of you have ever been spanked for doing foolish things. I never heard of someone being whipped for doing something nice. It's always for bad behavior. Let me tell you a story. Back in 1956, I was 8 years old, and like most boys, I loved rocks. Oh, not for collecting. No normal, mischievous 8-year-old boy would think of collecting rocks. As far as I knew, rocks were for just plain throwing. Me and my best buddy Andrew Myers were the best rock throwers in Los Angeles neighborhood. There's something about a rock in the hands that just seems to want to fly through a window or to be thrown at a bottle. One day, us two unsaved boys were up to no good. As we were walking down the sidewalk, I noticed a large boulder rock just laying alongside the edge of the grass. Leaping lizards! I couldn't help myself. I just picked up that 20-pound rock. Boy, it felt so good in my hands. It was one of those smooth, big, round type. Once in my hands, I was done for. Andrew suggested, "Hey, old buddy Dickie," that was my nickname in those days, "that rock would sure sound nice flying through that parked car window, huh?" That's all it took. I lifted it up and threw it into the front car window and ran like the devil was after me. When I got home, the devil wasn't after me. My dad, Joe, was. Somehow he found out. Now, don't ask me how. It seems that parents just know when you do something bad. Dad did just what Captain Lewis and Clark did to those foolish men who were looking for trouble. That's right, a good old-fashioned licking. Plus, It took me 12 weeks of hard work to pay back for that broken window. That whipping and hard work cured me of rock throwing almost for good. There was just one more time that really healed me of rock throwing, but that's another story, another time. I found out the hard way that whippings are not fun, but they can sure teach lessons, though. The best lesson is to follow the Bible's way and to be a good child. If you do, you'll never see the rod of correction. But like Captain Lewis and Clark's crew, there's always those who seem to like whippings. I trust and pray that you're not one of them.